From the gridiron to the airwaves, it's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide. Known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks now, he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations with the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff, so buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. We've got a lot to get into today. We've got some recruiting news. It's been kind of slow since the season started, but a jam-packed week this week. Basketball information. Bama gets a flip for the 2026 class, a big name in the 2027 class. But does that mean Alabama has truly locked in that position for the future, or is there still some noise to be made? And there's also a younger sibling that has been offered of a current Alabama player that could throw a wrench into everything in a few years. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We've also got some news about Bama getting ready to take on South Carolina, as well as we'll hear about some guys that stepped up this past week and hop back in like they haven't missed a beat, even though we hadn't heard that name in a while. We'll also talk about Alabama's offense in the last minute of the first half. Is Ty Simpson the best quarterback in the country, the best 2-minute quarterback in the country? We'll talk about all that and more.
You're listening to the Martin Houston Show. Martin and Xavier, and as Xavier has let you know, we're live, local, and ready to get things rolling. We're powered by the good folks over there at Box Eye Care, boxeyecare.com. They have a great new location that they're getting really settled in, and they'd like for you to stop by and visit with them. That's Box Eye Care, because they have an in-house lab, get you in and out, most cases in an hour, and a large inventory where you can get in and out for the most part without there being any issues, and find what you're looking for. So go check them out. That's Box Eye Care, boxeyecare.com. Remember this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning to the maniacs, heavy hitter, Rusty Dent, Tim Richardson, Chuck Hunt, Hollywood the Barber, Bam Bam 72, Sam Pittner, and more. Man, it is going to be a fun day. We're give you some insight and some thoughts and opinions that you're not going to find anywhere else. So tell your family and friends how they can find us, Martin Houston, the Martin Houston Show on Facebook, facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. That's where you can get in on the Maniacs. Of course, we have all the other social media outlets as well. But as we grow, that's where we're growing there, the following. So go check it out. Tell a friend, like it, share it, and bring them in if they want to hear great conversation where not only is it our opinion, X, it's also the Maniac's opinion, whether they call in on the phone, posting the live stream. And that's why I love it. It's the sound of Bama sports. That's what we're going to talk about. It's your show, your team. So let us hear from you. Actually, you were saying it, man. It's fine. It's been a little while. But Alabama doesn't have a whole lot of room in this recruiting class left. But I find it interesting. They have two guys that. Here's the question. Let me ask you this question before we get into the specific recruiting. Is it? Did they just tell us this, or is it possible that there was really a competition? If there really was a competition at quarterback, Alabama has two studs coming back. Because if Ty keeps this up, he's gone.
He gone.
He's gone. He's going to be Mac Jones 2.0 with a higher draft pick probably, because I think Ty will grade out even better than he's performing on the field. Like you see guys jump up the board after the season. Ty will jump up the board. He's jumping up the board during the season. Guys like Todd McShay said, there's not a better quarterback in the country playing, throwing, reading the defense. He named it all. He was like, this guy is unbelievable. Do you think that they were just telling us that to keep those two guys engaged, or was it really close at different points, but Ty was always the leader?
I definitely think he was always the leader, and when you look at it, you heard Austin Mack has the size, the true prototypical size, and the arm and all that stuff, and then you hear, man, there's not a throw that Keelan Russell can't make. I think that's all true. But I think it is right now the upstairs, the in between the ears that separated Ty and gave him full range. So I think it was close from the physical attributes of it, but I think Ty's mental part of his game right now is what separated him.
Absolutely. So give us a little update on Alabama has two quarterbacks on roster, two recruits in next year's class, and you say they may not be finished even after that. So just take it.
Yeah. So of course, Alabama, as you said, we've got Austin Mack most likely coming back. Keelan Russell most likely coming back. Ty's probably gone. Well, so what do? You go to the recruiting class. Some go to the portal. But we've decided to sign two quarterbacks, and that's Jet Tomala in the 2026 class out of Omaha, Nebraska. And then you have Taden Kawa out of Orem, Utah. So two guys out from the Midwest. Kawa's 6'5", 235. So he's an Austin Mack type build. And then Jet Tomala is 6'4", 220. So he's even a big quarterback in and of itself. But Bama did land a commit from in-state quarterback Trent Seaborn. And he's a name that if you live in Alabama, you've heard since he was in the 8th grade. He's a part of the 2027 class. He in one game as an 8th grader in a state championship game threw more touchdowns in Jordan Hare.
Xavier.
Yep, I'm doing it. Then Jackson Arnold has thrown all season in Jordan Hare. Yep. Hey, he threw 5. Jackson has thrown 4. So no, I mean he's really talented. He's a 4-star. He's I think he's right now the number 12 quarterback in that class. Room to grow, room to go up. Now he's listed at 6'1", about 200 pounds right now. Plays at Thompson High School, couple of state championships already, and he's got this season and another season to add to that number. But there's other quarterbacks that are big names in the 2027 class. You have Phillip Rivers' son, Gunnar Rivers, who is prototypical size, 6'4", 215 already as a junior. And then the interesting thing is, don't know how much Alabama's pushing for him, but Alabama is going heavy after 5-star Elijah Haven out of Louisiana in that class, and he's more prototypical side. He's 6'3", about 210 pounds. He's the number one quarterback in the country for the 27 class. And he was in town on a visit this past weekend, and a couple days later, Trent goes ahead and commits. Bama has come out and said they're not going to stop recruiting him, though. They're still going to keep pushing for Elijah Haven. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Because, he was in for a visit. He gets predicted to commit to Alabama in the future, and then Trent commits. So there's that. So that's all the noise around the quarterback room. And in the 2028 class, we've offered Graham Simpson, which is Ty Simpson's little brother. So we might already have our 2028 quarterback as well. Then, of course, we got the big flip from Corey Howard out of the state of Georgia. He had been committed to Georgia for a while, but was in town for a visit, loved it, flips his commit to Alabama. He's 6'6", 260 pounds, long, athletic, defensive end. Going to be interesting to see if we can hold on to him, because I'm pretty sure Georgia's not going to let up on that. But the big question moving forward in recruiting is, with the coaches being fired, coaches being let go, and rumors of coaches being fired, does Alabama go try to poach Florida's class? I know KJ Ford was a big-name defensive end out of Duncanville High School, the same high school as Keelan Russell that is committed there. Bama was in heavy on him, 6'4", 245-pound edge. And then with rumors up in Maryland, if Mike Locksley will be around after this season, Bama is making a big play for the number 3 overall recruit in the country, Zion Ely, who has a wish of playing both ways in college. Well, he's a defensive end and a tight end. He's 6'4", 225 right now. So does that play into it? Does Alabama push? It'll be interesting to see from there.
Yeah, I mean, with the way this coaching staff does some of their recruiting and coaching and playing and packages and development, I could see this coaching staff easily playing a defensive end and a tight end both ways, just because of how much and how deep they go and how many different guys they're able to get ready. Undoubtedly, you don't have to have all the reps
Right.
with the way they practice. They must get a lot of reps in at practice, man, because they haven't had anybody step out there this year, from my opinion, that didn't know assignment football. Now, they may have had some that were not physical or aggressive, but the only game where I felt like this Alabama team wasn't prepared, from a rep standpoint, was the first game, and that was probably an over preparation where they were thinking so much instead of just reacting. That's my opinion there, based on everything I've seen the rest of the season. So that's going to be interesting. And this whole coaching thing, X, I don't think you can. I don't know if you're recruiting a guy, I think you go after them because you already know. And especially if you're in their top 1, 2, or 3. But there's going to be so much change in coaches. I think you solidify your base so that a guy like Kiffin doesn't go from Ole Miss to Florida, and then you went after somebody else, and then he comes in and snatches up one of your receivers, type of thing. Because now instead of recruiting him at Ole Miss, he's recruiting him at Florida and things like that. I think you shore up your base in recruiting, and then if there was a guy that you were already after that fit, then if somebody doesn't sign or whatever, you can see what happens with your roster and all of that. But anyway, unless it's like the top 3 guy, it's kind of a no-brainer there. If you wasn't in on him, you jump in on a guy like that. So, but hey, we'll be back on the other side. I know Pat wants to ask a recruiting question, so we'll let him ask that coming out of the break. Guys, if you have something, you have a question for X or me that you want to get to, we're going to get Xavier's good, bad, and ugly, but we're going to tie it into how does that matter this week. Not looking back with our good, bad, and ugly, but looking forward. Get X's thoughts since we didn't get to his this week. So if you have a thought, comment, reaction, post it in the chat or give us a call on Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier of X's and O's. And the Martin Houston Show, we're powered by Box Eye Care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Pretty good ride to get you started this morning. We are keeping an eye on some road work occurring over on McFarland Boulevard. That's happening there on your westbound lanes, getting towards Sam Sutton Road. It looks like it's closing off one of your left lanes. Elsewhere, a little bit of congestion for you to be aware of at times over on I-359. You're stopping up a little bit as you're coming up on McFarland Boulevard, but no need for an alternate at this point. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Zach Grizzle.
This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders.
Only at Townsend Nissan, every new and select used vehicle includes a lifetime powertrain warranty. And right now, get up to $7,000 off new Nissans. Family owned, serving Tuscaloosa for over 50 years. Townsend Nissan, where peace of mind comes standard.
Eli Manning here. There's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. There's something about those soft, fluffy, irresistible King's Hawaiian Sliders that make them a winner on game day. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. King's Hawaiian. There's nothing like it.
Alabama football is back, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Crimson Tide. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Sold in stadium and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person receiving the deal. Additional terms apply.
95.3 The Bear and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC are partnering with Baumhauer's Victory Grill this season to put you in the best seats in the house at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Sign up online at 953thebear.com, on the app, or the Tide 100.9 app. Each week, we'll pick a winner for a pair of tickets to an Alabama home football game. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, with 2 locations in Tuscaloosa, Harper Lee Drive, and Baumhauer South on Courtney Drive. Let Baumhauer's Victory Grill put you in the best seats in the house.
Oh my God!
With 95.3 The Bear and Sports Radio Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another fine fall day today with a sunny sky, the high 77. Clear tonight, the low 49. Tomorrow and Saturday, partly to mostly sunny both days. Highs between 73 and 76. Sunday, rain at times, the high 69. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 44 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
I was going to start with one thing. I just want to say, I never do this. I'm going to channel my inner King Womack here. But I just want to thank the fans. I've coached the NFL, top 5 games, national championship, and that was the most electric atmosphere I've ever seen. So, we'll tie.
All right, X. You don't get a whole lot out of out of Coach in his press conferences, but pretty electric atmosphere. And I think that that atmosphere is what you call it was trying to create by making Alabama their homecoming game in South Carolina. So we're gonna have to deal with that type of noise and hype. You didn't realize we're their homecoming. So yeah. I think that they were thinking, oh, if we can just get them, we almost got them last year. We get them in our place, create a little noise.
And they thought they were going to be
like this.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll get Pat in just a second, but really quick, Rusty Dent said, if you have that kind of QB recruiting, the other offensive tools will come also, or two. I guess the only question I have is I agree with that statement, X, but the question is, will we get the running back that can play in this, that want to come play in this system, or do we have to go out and try to find a Jahmyr Gibbs? Which, good gracious, you talking about probably the most underutilized player in Alabama history. Saban, oh my goodness. Have you watched that dude in the NFL?
Yeah.
He is unbelievable, and we didn't use him. So what about the running back room when it comes to, will we still get the running back, or Alabama's just going to have to change what we think about running back? Or do we already have him in AK Deer? I mean, we may already have him.
I think we have a couple versions of it. If the O-line blocked a little bit better, I think Kevin Riley is cut from that mold. He's not as fast as Jahmyr's, but he's that similar type back. I think AK is that type of back. You look at the backs that we have in this recruiting class in 2026, when you look at Xavier Crowell and Barnett, that they're similar style backs. Crowell is probably a little bit more powerful, but similar, can catch the ball out of the backfield and things of that nature. So I think we have those guys. It's run blocking that throws a wrench in it, because Kevin's caught how many passes this year?
Yeah,
they throw it to him a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the point I was trying to get is I think it's more of not us getting the type of running back. We just have to change what type of running back we think we're going to get. I don't know how many Daniel Hills are going to come here in the future.
Right.
But I think we're getting some different, like, hybrid type of guys. What about the Penn State question by Tim Coggins? Any Penn State players that Alabama had on their list? Do you know of any right off?
Not right off. And it's kind of hard right now because with the changes to the transfer portal and stuff, it used to be as soon as a coach got fired, they could hop in the portal. But now you have to wait to that window in December to do it. And if it's an in-season firing. So we're kind of stuck to see who stays, who leaves. Can Penn State turn it around? Who do they hire? We're still kind of waiting to see all that out before you can really start going, okay, we're going to go after this guy, and that guy from a certain school.
All right. I'm going to ask you something about firing coaches in just a second. Hey, Pat, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, guys. But guys, we're loaded up with running back. I think for the near future, I think y'all won't have to worry about that. But where we got a problem is, where do we get a center We got a fantastic quarterback. Either one of them that comes in after Ty. Where do you go to find a center? I mean, we got to have a center that can constantly. He touches the ball on every play. Most centers call the offensive line. Where do we go to find a center that can consistently get the ball to the quarterback? Where do we go, guys?
So now the question is, does Parker Brosler leave after this year? Because he has another year of eligibility.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
and I think he does. I think he does leave. But now the question is, if he does leave, where do you turn? We have Rock Montgomery, who's dealt with injuries. You have Joseph Ionata, who's been taking reps at center as well. I've heard rumors that William Sanders could easily step in and be the center if Parker was to go down with an injury. That's going to actually be the guy, the next man up. But he's too good at guard right now, and Parker's too good at center to get him any reps in game there. Now you also look at this 2026 class, and there's a guy, Chris Booker, out of Georgia. He's an interior guy. I've heard he's got some center experience. He's 6'4", he's 285 right now. So he's a tall but not a very big interior lineman. He's a guy that they believe that they can get in that 310-pound range, and potentially he plays center as well in the future. So that's a couple of options right there.
Yeah, and I think it's Anata and Sanders that will battle out for
right.
Which I think Pat, the reason they're giving Sanders so much rep right now, you don't want to be you don't want to put your backup in at center per se the way you do the other linemen. But I think they're getting Sanders reps so that they can have some options at center with someone who has played.
And Pat, don't be surprised next year if you see some version of it. Parker leaves, you see some version. Wilkin gets bumped into guard, and you have Carroll starting at right tackle. I think that's part of why you've seen Wilkin play some at right guard with Carroll. I think that's why you see Sanders in. I think you see him in to bump him into center potentially, and you have guys like Olaus Aileen that you believe can play guard as well.
Yep. Yeah. I think Olaus will be the first option at left guard. I know we're getting way ahead, but Sanders at center, Wilkin at guard, Carroll at tackle.
At right tackle.
And don't be surprised if Carroll doesn't grow into left tackle.
And you see Jackson. But I can see Jackson Lloyd getting bumped to right tackle.
Yep.
Everything I've heard that Olaus is a powerful man. He hasn't played any football.
Yeah.
You know?
And the reason I say Will Sanders is they like athletic guys at center.
Yeah.
So, but big enough, not much.
And he's a little bit taller and a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Guys, our center had to catch a pass this past year.
Hey, I watched William Sanders run the ball in games in high school, so I think he might be able to do it.
All right. Hey, you guys have a blessed day.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Pat.
All right. X, Mr. Risa Pittner said, maybe I'm missing something, but I always thought if someone committed to something, then that pretty much is a done deal. Almost like back in the day, handshake sealed the deal. I don't get very excited anymore when I hear someone has committed. But X, I guess the question becomes, should you feel a little different? And she's right?
Mm-hmm.
She's right. But I guess part of it is, should you feel a little bit better about Alabama's commitments, being that a percentage of their guys literally shut down recruitment on their side? Doesn't mean the schools stopped recruiting them, but they've stopped taking visits and entertaining offers proactively.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be more concerned about. If you hear a guy that say, "Oh, I'm still open. I'm still taking." When you start to hear it's who is shutting down. When you hear the top guys in your class, like your quarterback, your 5-star wide receiver, your top running back, your top safety, who's a 5-star. When you hear those guys go, "Hey, I'm shutting it down. I'm locked in on Bama," that's when you start to feel good about a commitment, especially now that you have early signing day. It plays a little different. If it was still just the February signing day, you got to stay on these guys even harder. But when they shut down their side of things, that's when you want to go, okay, we should feel good about this guy staying committed.
Yeah, and of course, in today's talk, they throw some money out there. Anybody could go, and you can't always blame it, because some of these kids can get life-changing money in terms of what they face. And QD asks, where is Rock Montgomery? Has he left the team? No, I've heard he's been dealing with some injuries, is what I've heard.
Same. That's what I've heard as well. Some lower body stuff from what I've been told. So he's still on the team. I just think if Parker were to go down for an extended period, it'd be William Sanders in at center as well, from what I've heard.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, they like William Sanders
a lot.
So look for him to get more PT. So, but hey, listen, there's a lot going on that's happening around Alabama football. We're going to turn our attention on the other side to Alabama and their preparation for South Carolina.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Pretty good ride to get you started this morning. We are keeping an eye on some road work occurring over on McFarland Boulevard. That's happening there on your westbound lanes, getting towards Sam Sutton Road. It looks like it's closing off one of your left lanes. Elsewhere, a little bit of congestion for you to be aware of at times over on I-359. You're stopping up a little bit as you're coming up on McFarland Boulevard, but no need for an alternate at this point. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Zach Grizzle.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
We're Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're on a journey to be Tuscaloosa's destination for powerful, iconic Jeeps, like a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $349 a month during the Drive into Fall event. Start your journey now at Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or TuscaloosaCDJR.com, where you pick it out and we'll work it out. On select models with approved credit plus tax, registration, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. Expires month end.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
The Town Square Media Big Buck Contest is back October 15th through February 10th. There will be an open range division winner, youth division winner, overall winner, and weekly winners. Each winner will receive sponsor prizes. Take your buck to be scored at Hicks Taxidermy on 69 North in North Fort, just before Carroll's Creek Baptist Church. Sponsored by Tuscaloosa Tractor, Castaway Fish Co., Crimson Pride Hunting and Fishing, Precision Armory, Junction Grocery, Urbans, Military Surplus R Us, and Adams Heating and Cooling.
Let the cool times roll at Pearl River Resort. This October, the spirits are stirring, the fun is brewing, and the prizes are monstrously big. Every Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m., you have the chance to win your share of $52,000. When the clock strikes 11, one person will win a monster-sized prize of $2,500 in cash. Don't miss this spooktacular spectacular event at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casinos. Must be 21 or older to play.
The Venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa hangout, food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at the Venue, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, whether it's the all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajamas, or the quality food that you can get at Finish Pub. Great atmosphere, great time, great people, great environment. That's the Venue. You can find them online at thevenuetuscaloosa.com, located off of Watermelon Road, just past Sokol Park. That's the Venue, Tuscaloosa's new favorite hangout. Make it yours.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
What does that well, I really don't. I don't talk to Kalen about the opening script or anything like that. As far as Ty, the way I look at it is, I tell our guys the same thing every week. When I go to make the openers and the plays that are going to be called in the game, I take a full cut up on Thursday afternoon of every play we ran in practice, and then I go through all of them. When I watch the plays, it's kind of Tell the Truth Thursday, where you're looking at it like, okay, what did we actually execute well? I know the plays that I like and that I want to favor, but when it came down to it, what were we executing? And then from there, I get a list from Ty every week of some of the things that I give him a section for each part of the call sheet. What are his favorite throws? What are his favorite plays? And I certainly take that into consideration. What are the plays that he feels the most comfortable getting to, and then just kind of add it all up and put them in order and let it rip.
Go to the back
on Well,
hey, hold on. Here, the person who asked that question asked the question. The reporters some of them are so sleazy. He was trying to catch them. The board answers the question, and then he comes back and asks. He asked Grubb the question. Grubb gave his answer, talking about, hey, I don't talk to him, blah, 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 blah. Then he comes back and asks the board the same question. And it had this feeling of, is he trying to get them to contradict each other? But listen how in line they are with each other.
Yeah, you bet. I let them throughout the week. They're gonna really know what they're comfortable with, and usually Thursday we get to the point where Coach Grubb and the offensive staff have an idea, a really strong idea, and put a play bank together. I know he's going to really probably talk with Ty in particular, making sure that he feels all good with everything, and if there's anything he's concerned about, and usually you can feel that as the week goes on. I can see what that looks like on the call sheet, feel comfortable with myself. I always like to know what's early, but I don't press on him because I know as a play caller over many years, you might change your mind until kickoff. And so again, I kind of have an idea of what the bank is of plays. It's on our call sheet, but not necessarily in a particular order. And just kind of checking off and making sure during the course of the game that those are the plays that we felt best about, that we're getting them called. And trust the rhythm, trust the prep that Coach Grubb's put in, and seeing the adjustments, maybe the changes in the way it presents itself that might be different than when we worked on. But they're so thorough, they're so detailed. Ryan's just dialed in on all those situations and, understanding probably as much as anything, what are the third down calls? What are the fourth down calls? What are the plays in the red zone when we get in those moments where you got to decide, it's 4th and 2 and what are we going to do? And, having an idea of kind of the 1 or 2 calls that might be next on the call sheet. So I really let them work through it, but I can see, later in the week, by Friday for sure, of what really that's probably going to be when it comes to our openers. So.
Like I said, I think the guy was hoping for some controversy, right? He got nothing, right? How awesome, what they said, and how in sync. A lot of people think that when you look at the scriptures, there's a lot of people that say there's conflict in the Gospels because it's 4 different stories. If you're in law enforcement, and they come in and they have the word for word same story, you know there was collusion, right? But when you get the same story from different perspectives, you can trust that that's the way things are done, and someone hadn't been coached to talk that way. And what I love about this system, about what they talked about, was the process of how they get there, X. And for us as Bama fans, what we're seeing in the run game, I think comes down to that. And let me, and then I'll let you respond and be quiet. But here's the thing: when the coach looks at what they were able to execute, certain things fall off the playbook.
Yep.
Right. And so I don't think that this run package has a lot of outside runs. I don't think there's a lot of toss sweeps and counters and things in this offense. Okay. But they have different ways to get to runs up the middle because that's what they build their play action pass game off of. So if you're not having a lot of success in the run game, then you have to run the plays that you run that Ty's good at and that you've executed all week. And if you have 5 variations of the inside run and 1 variation of the outside run, what are you going to call in the game? Because inside run. So I think that's a lot of it in terms of why we run what we run, because you want to be running what your quarterback can run and what he likes and what your team can execute. And so I love it that we're getting that inside conversation from the coaches.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if there still are wrinkles and adjustments, because we're Alabama. We want to see the ball ran. We want to see that physicality part of the game. But back to what started is, I love how it was the same answer from 2 different perspectives. And as you said, that's how it should sound. Grubb gave, hey, this is what I do. And then you hear from DeBoer, this is what I let them do and how they handle it. And it came out to be the exact same procedure.
Yeah. With that, QD, as with the way Grubb is dealing, is Ty going to get Grubb a head coaching job? I think by the time it's all rotated, he'll be considered. The question will be whether he wants to move for the, second year in a row.
Shoot, probably really the 4th, because how close is the University of Washington and Seattle? I don't know.
They're in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he had to move. That was part of the reason he wanted to stay.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely think Grubb will be in contention. It just kind of depends on where and how much control I think he'll have over a program.
Yeah. And right now with these crazy coaches, I don't know what it's going to do. And I think Penn State. I don't know that UCLA and UAB letting their coaches go was going to have this domino effect, but I think Penn State firing their guy led to Florida firing their guy. And I think you're going to see it start ramping up if you are on the seat. I think LSU can't afford, if LSU loses this week or we beat LSU, he's out, because in my opinion, I could be wrong, because you're now looking at, well, all the hot coaches that's hot right now are going to be gone. And so then you stuck with him for another year if you're not satisfied. But anyway, who knows? X, when you look at the ugly or the bad from this Alabama game, what did you see, and how do we turn that into a good going into South Carolina?
Man, we if there's one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna give up a big run. Yeah,
consistent.
Hey, a team is gonna have one big run against us every week, And if the defense plays the way they do the rest of the game, I'll take it. But we're going to give up a 30-yard plus run every week. It just seems to be what's in the cards for us. I felt good last week because it didn't happen in the first half. And then they came out, boom, first drive of the second half. I was like, okay, there it is. But that would really be the ugly from the game. I mean, I think we played really good overall against Tennessee. So I didn't have a ton, but we're going to give up that big play.
Yeah, we gave up a big play. Let me ask you this. On that run, do you think that shows that Lawson still isn't 100%? Because he had the right angle, but when that guy cut, he couldn't stop. And so did he not trust his knee to slam on brakes and stop that cutback? Because I've heard people say he took a bad angle. I don't think his angle was bad. I think his braking was bad. He couldn't stop. Like he didn't plant. When that guy planted, he just kept running.
Yeah. No, I mean, possibly. I mean, what is it? It's been 11 months? Remember,
it hasn't been a year yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it used to be. All right, he'll get on the field a year after, let alone play 7 games.
Yeah,
and been practicing with it. But
I think it's a mental thing. I don't think it's the knee.
I think his knee's solid because when he explodes, he explodes.
Right, but I think it's still affecting his play.
Yeah,
that play to me looked like a guy who was scared to slam on those knees and stop and hit that guy. It like he was trying to gather himself versus planting and coming back in there on it. That's just my thoughts in terms of that. When you look at what happened with that particular run play itself, but yeah, you're right. We're going to give up a big run somewhere. But the reality of it is Tennessee ended up with 140-something yards, and we ended up with 120.
Yeah.
But it seems like they had so many more yards.
Because we had it unconventionally because of Jeremy and Ryan.
But I think that's part of our run game. I think part of Grubb's run game for me is reverses in a quick screen game. That's how he's getting those. In other words, everything that he does is outside when he's doing those trick plays or alternative run plays, and that does the same thing as a run out of bounds. To me, Xavier, when I look at I thought our run blocking was ugly, but I'm not sure if it was as ugly as we thought. And let me tell you why. Was Jam healthy?
No.
And because he was hesitant, was he confident? I shouldn't say. I think he was healthy. What did Hill do that the other guys didn't do? I think there's 2 things to it. I'll let you tell one of them that your opinion on Hill in terms of why he has success. But I also think Hill has better vision. I think he bounced the ball, and that's what our running backs don't do very well. When you run the ball, you press the hole, you get them to come up in there, and then you jump to the outside. We never jump. We never make that jump move. Well, Hill did a little bit. And that's the difference in his success and the other guys, I think. And you have one other reason you think Hill was more successful against a good run defense.
Yeah, I think the thing that Daniel does it's not it's a Daniel / O-line thing. He doesn't need as much space because of his massive frame and his downhill just run style. He doesn't need the space that Jam or Kevin do. If you give Jam or Kevin space, they're going to eat you alive. Daniel can make his space. That's just part of being a 6'1", 245-pound running back. It's part of that skill set that you can squeeze through, and then keep going because it's harder to tackle.
Power through, not squeeze through.
Power through.
Yeah. Tim Coggins said the ugly was him was the crazy backwards pass play. Even though Germ turned it into a big game, that play needs to be taken out of the playbook. Your thoughts there?
Woo! It was ugly. Tennessee had that thing played perfectly, and he made something out of nothing, and it kept the game flipped.
Yeah, well, for me, I guess part of my thing is it was just another one of those Grub moments. Just like you say that we're gonna give up a big play. Grub gonna call a missed
Something
time.
crazy.
He gonna call. It's not just that he calls it. It's gonna be a mistimed, not needed moment, right? So, but anything else from the bad standpoint, X? It was a couple things I had. Did you have anything else from the bad standpoint?
MHS. He said, "Quit with the cute or gimmick, please." The bad. Oh man, I got to go back and think. You go ahead with your bad. I got to think about it.
Couple things. One was the Vandermark on the first 3 plays of the game. Woo!
Actually, that was my ugly. That's my ugly. That's my ugly.
I was like, I don't know why you started him. I have some inside news on why he started, but I think this coaching staff X is still. I think they're building depth. I think they're challenging guys, and they're keeping guys engaged, and they're trying to re-engage guys. So it's interesting. You know how a lot of times people say, "Hey, let's bench the quarterback to try to get the quarterback playing better." I wonder if this coaching staff maybe uses that philosophy and everywhere. So that was part of the Vandermark question was, where's Dewberry? Why is he not in there? But the other side of that, X, is that when they got that turnover from Tennessee, the coaching staff needs to go back and coach this team up. If the ball is rolling around on the ground and it was a pass play, don't assume it's incomplete. There is zero reason for a ball to be rolling on the ground. We looked at that ball. The Tennessee guy actually slapped the ball. But at least the Tennessee guy saw it and thought it was a pass. You need to teach your teams, anytime the ball is a pass play and the ball is rolling on the ground close to the line of scrimmage, it's a fumble. Get on it. Because if you get on it and it's a fumble, it's still your ball. If it's incomplete, it's still your ball. But the worst thing you can do is just let a ball roll around the line of scrimmage and not assume it's live.
Right.
If Tennessee had picked that up, if they had been coached to pick it up when it looked like a potential fumble, it would have been a touchdown. They were not coached well on that play either. So that's a bad for me.
Yeah, like I said, I'm flipping my Vandermark was my ugly. Those first 3 plays had me out there just confused. You put Roberts in and you take out Dewberry, who had been the better of the 2, but you said you have some inside info on that. So, but
no, that's just insight, not info.
Oh, insight. Okay, but still, it didn't make any sense. So, that's actually my ugly. The way he got whooped, and I think we barely saw him the rest of the game. And then overall, I think the offensive line played well. So I think that would be my good. Offensive line played well. DBs played really good against 3 of the. I think coming in they had 3 of the top 5 wide receivers in total receiving yards in the country. So Kane Womack has. I'll give him his big play if he does everything else.
Yeah, X, how do those things that we just hit as you wrap up this session, this show, how do those things translate into what we need to do against South Carolina?
Contain Lenore Sellers, make him beat you with his arm, because if you let him run freely, it could be a long day for the defense. Give him his one run, call it a day, and keep it pushing. Offensively, we have to continue to attack and take what the defense gives us. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more in the run game this week, but just keep doing what you're doing offensively.
Yeah, Cedric Peterson said, my bad was Grove calling 2 run plays to start the quarter. Yeah, that was interesting. But we want to see. You have to be committed to the run. They're doing that, and that's what it takes. We'll break down the keys to victory tomorrow. We'll get your score prediction tomorrow. We'll get any other additional loose ends and tie them up on a free-for-all Friday on tomorrow, powered by TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. That's Xavier Houston. I'm Martin Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. Thanks to all the callers, listener, viewers, and chatters, and the maniacs for being part of the program. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Roll Tide, everybody. Catch you on tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
And for that, hey guys, I forgot to thank Justin Lord always.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend
him, and he will direct your pass. Roll Tide, everybody.